Minister here. Oh, good morning, Prime Minister. Yes, as a matter of fact, I've just been reading the Annan report. Oh, I agree, it's dead boring, not a laugh in it. A lighter version? What a marvellous idea, but who could we get to do it? Stanley Baxter? Oh, no, I'm afraid not. Didn't you know he's a recluse? Even his agent hasn't seen him for months. Somebody thought they saw him in New York in a floppy hat and dark glasses, but it turned out to be that other one, yes, Garbo. Oh, I'll certainly do my best, but I'm afraid it's going to take a long, long time. Good morning. Minister here. Oh, Mr. Baxter, you'll do it. How delightful. Miss Jones, has my 12 o'clock appointment arrived yet?
She's waiting in reception, sir.
Do you think she suspects anything?
You mean about cancelling her one-woman show? Well, it could be. She doesn't look too happy. But you know how temperamental those big stars are.
Oh, better get it over with, I suppose. Send her in. Come in.
Good morning, Louis. And how is my favourite cartoon today?
Well, all the better for seeing you, Miss Porker. You look so fantastic, I could eat you up.
Watch it, Muggle. I may be vivacious, but kosher I'm not. Now, s'il vous plaît, let's discuss my television spectacular, shall we? I want the full star treatment. The dressing room I'm in now is a big star.
Miss Porker, I don't know how to break it to you, but...
If it's bad news, I know how to break it to you, fatso! Run your stupid head!
Hold it, simmer down. Believe me, I had no choice. I just had to cast Pearl Bailey.
So you cast Pearl before Swan. All right, Louis, you superannuated Charleston dancer. I made you. I could break. Where were you before I came along? Nowheresville, ATV, Borum Wood, ATV, Borum Stiff. Without me, this company is finished.
All right already, so you're angry, but you're just not ready for your own show yet. You can't make a silk purse out of it.
Finish that at your peril. I'm suing you for breach of contract.
Correction, we never had a contract, Miss Porker. I said it's a deal and we shook trotters on it.
And you think a fistful of pigskin bought me body and soul, right?
Come on, be fair. Look how we groomed you for stardom. Remember Jesus of Nazareth?
I remember. I worked my butt off doing crowd scenes with the Gadarene swine.
Well, if you're interested, you can do a guest spot on the Charles Aznavour show.
Thank you for nothing. I'm sick of working with frogs.
Well, there's nothing else for you in the schedules. I'm busy on the works of Shakespeare. I'll call you when I get to the works of Bacon.
Louis, you blind, adorable fool. Why waste time on Shakespeare and culture? You don't have to prove anything. You've already got your knighthood.
Friends, why don't we continue our chat over a working lunch?
Enchanté, I'm sure.
Miss Jones, tell the waiter that we're ready to eat, would you, dear?
Right away, sir.
Bonjour. I'm sure this will be to your satisfaction, sir.
Oh, Faye, I can't eat that. It's my religion.
Your religion? It's my daddy! Take that!
When I was making flickers, there were folk who found me blue with me little ukulele in my hand. 'Cause I sang of ladies' knickers, Blackpool Rock and Mr. Woo. It were family fun for all to understand. If you thought my saucy songs were rude and spicy, what you see on telly nightly's twice as dicey. They can get away with murder on the telly. There's no limit to the license on the box. Last Tuesday on Blue Peter, a young lad was out of luck. He said he'd make a model using paste and glue and muck, but the model wouldn't have it and they quickly came unstuck. They can get away with murder on the telly. They can get away with murder on the telly. There's no limit to the license on the box. I watched that show, The Sweeney, it's too violent by far. Two louts attacked a granny with a great big iron bar. Then they drove back to the station in their little panda car. They can get away with murder on the telly. They can get away with murder on the telly. There's no limit to the license on the box. Some narrow-minded viewers really made the switchboard hum. They complained about a blonde who lay stark naked on her tum, while her mother sprinkled Johnson's baby powder on her back. They can get away with murder on the telly. They can get away with murder on the telly. There's no limit to the license on the box. They say gay lib is gaining ground and bound to take its toll. I don't mind those all-male love scenes, but I think that on the whole, I'd rather men just shook hands when they scored a winning goal. They can get away with murder on the telly. When asked his job, a quiz contestant answered fair and square. I'm a master baker, he replied, and didn't turn a hair. But Nick Parsons, all embarrassed, said that's neither here nor there. They can get away with murder on the get away with murder. Get away with murder on the telly.
Welcome to another edition of Mastermind, a program to test the skill of contestants on subjects ranging from general knowledge to carnal knowledge. All the questions have been compiled by the editor of a mass circulation Sunday newspaper. Could we have our first contestant, please? Your name is Ronnie Purvis. You're an insurance clerk from Portsmouth. You're interested in old masters and young sailors. And you've chosen to answer questions on
Startling revelations in the popular Sunday papers during the period June to December 1978.
For your first question, who said, I think all decent-minded people will be outraged by this filth, and to what was he referring?
Council leader Fred Dowsett and the opening of a new sauna and massage parlour in Clapham.
Correct. And who, on the night of November the 10th, visited the parlour for hydrotherapy and deep, satisfying vibromassage?
Council leader Fred Dowsett.
Correct. What was the occupation of the Glasgow man who told the court of his night of shame?
He was a long-distance lorry driver with no previous conviction.
Correct. Where did a jealous husband from Oxford shoot his wife's lover?
In a Chilterns?
No, in the buttocks. When Harry Borthwick offered topless model Yolanda a lift home, what did he make?
Pass.
Correct. And what did Yolanda make?
About 25 bob.
Correct. A quotation now. 11 guilty men and the wives who wait in anguish. Who were the men and what was the disgrace?
Scottish footballers, the World Cup.
Correct. After silicone injection, social worker Queenie Dempsey of Liverpool developed a staggering bust which measured 49 inches. True or false?
True.
False, both of them. Violence flared at a Bradford fish and chip shop when 3 cannibals walked in. Why was this?
They asked for battered wives.
Correct. What was unusual about the incident in a north of England nunnery when the Mother Superior put on a slinky dress and leapt over the wall?
She was actually Dave Simpson, a tool fitter from Leeds.
Correct.
In a recent no-holds-barred expose, it was revealed that Adolf Hitler underwent a sex change in the ruins of Berlin. What else is Berlin famous for?
You're right, Alexander's ragtime band.
Correct. A question now to test your medical knowledge. What is the average pulse rate of a man making an obscene phone call? Sorry, Mr. Purvis, your time is up.
Hang on, I'll put another 2p in.
No, we must move on. 80-year-old grandfather Bert Browning recently married a 19-year-old disco dancer called Angie. What did Bert say on his wedding night?
Sorry, I give up.
Correct. Portsmouth man, you shouldn't have any problems answering this next one. After a stag night in a Portsmouth pub got out of hand, Mr. X told the court he was thoroughly ashamed of his behavior, but even suffering from headaches. Can you tell me the identity of Mr. X? And how much is it worth for me to keep quiet about it? Finished asking the question before the buzzer went, so you may answer.
Pass. For God's sake, pass.
Right, well, that was a very good round for Mr. Ronnie Purvis, Mr. X. This gives you 10 points on the front page of the People next Sunday.
May I say right off the bat how very thrilling it is for you to have me here in England. I just love visiting because I so adore your English actors. You are truly coming down with talent. Yesterday I asked someone where I could find the cream of English character acting, and he said, try Stratford Johns. Well, I tried every John in Stratford. Absolutely nothing. I don't mean a car, but since my last visit, I find that your television has gotten pretty draggy. The weird thing is the way that you get everything the wrong way around. Why is it that your light entertainment is so heavy, and yet all your straight men are so funny? I mean, take an actor like your Sir Gielgud. Now that man is a million laughs. He just breaks me up. People say, but Carol, you should see his leer. Well, why should I pay money just to watch a guy leering? No, I would like to see Sir Gielgud fronting one of those audience participation shows.
Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Generation Game. Another 45 minutes of homely humiliation. Nice to see you. To see you.
Nice! Or should Sir Gielgud hedge his bets and do it as Larry Grayson, too?
Shut that door. And now let us welcome our first contestants. And who have we as our first guests? Ah, yes, Ball. Eric Ball. And is she coming? Ah, yes, Denise Tatum. Uncle and niece. Which is which?
I'm the niece, Denise.
Niece to see you, niece. I wonder how much they pay Barry Cryer for those ad-libs. Now, it's Eric Ball, is it not?
Yes, that's right, Johnny.
Seems like a nice boy. 56 years of age, you live in Lewisham, you have a weak mouth, and your hobbies are reading and dressing up as John Harrison. Yes. And I see that you're retired.
No, I'm not retired.
Well, never mind. It all comes to very much the same thing, I believe. And it says here that you were with the police. Was that a career, or were you detained overnight?
I was with the Vice Squad, obscene publication.
Oh, and I suppose you went around people's attics, looking for porn in a trunk. Wait for laughter and applause to subside, and then continue. Oh, no, I don't think I should have read that. And you believe passionately in discipline and moral values.
Yes. I'm sick of people knocking Britain. Nowadays, patriotism is a dirty word.
So's bum, for that matter. Bum's a dirty word, like patriotism, isn't it?
Oh, quite so very astute, Denise. Now, you're 22 years of age. You live in Hornsey Rise with your 8-month-old eunuch.
Eunice, and I'm June.
What an incredible name for a eunuch. Now, you work part-time in a furniture suppository, and you describe yourself as a happy housewife who's always smiling and never lets anybody get on top of her, and that's about the size of it. But what size has anything to do... Oh, dear, what am I saying? Well, I think we'd better get on with our game. It's called Messy Eaters, so if you both get into your pennies and rubber knickers, I'll explain the rules of the game. Well, as you can see, there's this huge polythene bag which is full of porridge, and that's why I call the game Goldilocks' Trip. And here's Goldie herself. Thank you, dear. Give us a twirl. Now, she's a dear girl. Now, be very, very careful, because the operative thing is this terrible sharp point, because if you touch that with it, all the porridge comes down. It's rather droll. But let me explain. You run up the stairs here. You take a scoop of porridge from there. You then go along very carefully along this little red rope. Be very, very careful not to actually touch that polythene. You fill it into the buckets like this, and of course it's who fills which bucket faster that wins. Along again you go. Be very, very careful not to touch that sharp point. Another lovely big scoop of porridge from there, and again very, very, very careful. This very, very sharp. Along, fill the bucket again, and so on and so forth. And that is Goldilocks' Trip game. But be awfully careful as you go, because it's very sharp not to do that, because that's...
Hello. Today we had planned to answer a question that worries a lot of youngsters who live in densely wooded areas. Can I catch Dutch elm disease on my first date? Well, I'm afraid that'll have to wait until next week, because we're taking a frank look at the twilight world of mimics. Mimics, impersonators, or impressionists are people who suffer from a disturbing condition where they feel that they have to become somebody else. Not so long ago, mimicry was confined to a small minority group. People like Mike Yarwood, Freddie Starr, and Percy Edwards. All three were as normal as you and me, though Percy did show a tendency to nest in trees and fly south for the winter. But now mimicry is on the increase and affecting people from all walks of life. The statistics make grim reading. This year, it's estimated that over 1,000 ordinary people will attempt Eddie-wearing impressions. 40% more people impersonated Max Bygraves in 1977 than in 1969. And from bed-sitterland to country estates, one hears cries of, "Oh, Betty," and "Didn't she do well?" Are they perhaps cries for help? One man who has cause to regret his urges is the Reverend Alfred Roach. I asked him how and when he first realized that he suffered from mimicry.
It was the third Sunday in Lent. I had taken as my text the feeding of the 5,000. But halfway through the sermon, I became aware of the congregation growing restless. Suddenly, something snapped.
And now, playmates, before your very eyes, I'd like 5,000 volunteers.
I realized my affliction and felt the need to confide in someone. So I had a word with the rural dean. However, I don't think he really understood my problem.
Why, what did he say?
He's looking at you, Blue Eyes.
Many confirmed mimics live in fear of losing their jobs. How would you feel about being unfrocked?
Oh, very unhappy. I desperately need my frock when I do Shirley Bassey.
I have a consultant psychiatrist with me in the studio. Until recently, he was working with a team of scientists who were trying to find a cure for Des O'Connor. Now he devotes all his time to the fight against mimicry. Dr. Bingley, very simply, is there a completely successful way of treating mimicry?
Sadly, no.
I often think it's a scandal that Opportunity Knox was taken off because that program absorbed a large number of potential mimics, and from the fact that none of them were ever heard of again, we can safely assume they were cured.
Surely there's something that doctors can do.
Well, we have been experimenting with aversion therapy.
Could you explain exactly what that is for the benefit of viewers in general? And me in particular.
Well, it's a form of shock treatment. The patient is subjected to an unpleasant experience which gives them a disagreeable feeling and the impulse to avoid that experience in future.
Sounds a bit brutal.
Oh, believe me, it is. We lock them in a room for 2 days and show them repeats of Who Do You Do? The vital thing is a sympathetic approach to the problem. I try to reassure the patient that I am his friend and as solid as a rock. A rock-a-bye, baby, I will Dixie melody.
Finally, Doctor, what would you say to someone watching this program who might be a potential mimic? For instance, I have a letter from a teenage girl in Gravesend who impersonates Dorothy Squires.
Oh, obviously, she must get help at once. With all our GPs stretched to the limit, I would suggest she tries to get a booking at the Batley Variety Club. No, mimicry is a serious problem, and we must approach it with a liberal point of view.
Or better still, from a conservative point of view. And I think I'll join David Steele and the Liberal just for your cheek.
And now, playmate, before your very eyes.
Darling and lover.
Being a country parson is not all beer and skittles. If you're not feeling all that well,
Mammy, oh, mammy, you're in the moonlight.
Dr. Brent.
Hello there, parishioners. Did you think I was the MILF?
Never one per.
still wise and
Boopsie, did it on. Come and get it. My Boopsie adores his pussy slop and I wouldn't offer him anything else. Only pussy slop is enriched with vital minerals and contains tasty chunks of real budgerigar. Boopsie, oh, here comes Mummy's darling now. And what a picture of Elf. Here comes Mummy's...
For God's sake, Jerry, where the hell's the cat?
I'm sorry, Marcia. He's still in makeup. He looks a bit nauseous.
He probably ate some of this filth.
Hang on, Marcia. I promise we'll be able to shoot in 10 minutes. Hey, trust me, lovey. I'm your director.
Jerry, I wouldn't trust you to direct me to the lavatory. I'm getting changed and going home.
Hey, pussy. Pretty pussy.
Flattery will get you nowhere.
Marcia Maitland, an extraordinary actress who has travelled the bumpy road from weekly rep to the very pinnacle of her profession. It's no surprise they call her everybody's mum. Marcia has played hundreds of lovable mums in television commercials. Her glowing artistry has sold everything from laxatives to Lucozade. The failure of today's Pussy Slop commercial is already forgotten. It's a new day and Marcia could enjoy the sweet smell of success when she plays her most challenging role, a desperate mum who needs a deodorant spray. Location filming for Go Pong means an early start to her working day. You've played opposite a lot of famous actors, Miss Maitland. Who was your favourite leading man?
Oh, undoubtedly Gordon Jackson. A gentleman in the true sense of the word. Even after scores of television commercial success hasn't gone to Gordon's head. He's as nice now as he was when he was still struggling and doing upstairs, downstairs.
And what's your latest vehicle?
The wire trolley in Fine Fair supermarket. Of course, I only passed behind, but you'd swear that it was a person.
Oh, dear, dear. Yeah, isn't it? I hope it lasts. Oh,
You look a bit hungover.
I haven't well seen
Hello, I'm terribly sorry I'm late, darling. We'll get held up in the Kingston bypass. Yes.
In Marcia's portable caravan, a makeup girl transforms the actress to a nervous, frumpy housewife who fears she gives offence with unsightly stains.
Oh, Bert, this is Mr. Jameson, BBC.
Just before being called on the set, she spoke to me of her approach to the work.
One's awfully tempted to send the whole thing up, but honestly, I never do. I remember Gladys Cooper saying to me, Marcia, if you ever do a deodorant commercial, keep it small, keep it subtle. Always under the arm, never over the top.
It's a beautiful caravan. I can't help remembering a very different caravan that played a big part in your career.
Oh, my goodness, yes, that is going back a bit. You mean when I played Mrs. Tucker, Luton Mum, who did the blindfold test on margarine?
Ah, it was unforgettable. That incredible moment when you came out of the caravan. The suspense had me on the edge of my seat. Had you been able to tell Marge from butter?
Frightened not. I couldn't tell the difference. I would never have believed it, honest.
Did you notice the hesitation in that? I would never have believed... Like a person. I'm very proud to say that Derek Jacobi based his whole performance of Claudius on that.
Is it tough, though, to turn down £50?
Not if your fee for the commercial is £500, dear.
5 minutes, Morse.
Thanks, Bert. Right, I have to go, darling. A smelly housewife's work is never done.
And at 10 p.m., Marcia's working day is still not over. At the Dorchester Hotel tonight, she has combined business with pleasure, receiving the coveted Golden Fist Award for her glittering performance and general all-round hygiene in Lushine, a new lavatory cleanser. Flushed with success, she returns home. In her moment of triumph, I remind her of a less happy occasion. Miss Maitland, does it hurt to talk about that period in your career when you felt you were, well...
Slipping? On the skids? Don't let's mince words. Marcia Maitland was box office poison. After 2 screenings of my ad for the living bra, I was as good as dead.
And rumour has it you sunk so low you even did a TV skin flick. The trade press called you Britain's Linda Lovelace.
Yes, to my everlasting shame, I agreed to shoot a sequence where I lay down in the long grass and ate a chocolate milk flake. Excuse me. Hello? Speaking. Well, that depends what sort of an offer. How dare you? An actress of my caliber and experience, and you've the gall to ask me to prostitute my talents by appearing in some tatty little... I don't care who you are. Go to hell.
Who was it?
Peter Hall wants me to appear at the National or something. Honest.
It's all in the TV Times. Another fun-packed issue with news and views of your ITV fireside favourites. In The Other Side of Bernard Manning, the comedian tells of his continuing struggle to overcome shyness. News, too, of our great new competition. Arrange 10 well-known parts of the body in order of merit, and you could win a champagne breakfast with Vince Hill. For all the lucky runners-up, a surgical transplant of your own choice. In this week's House of Stars, your chance to win Eamon Andrews' library, complete with a collection of his favourite books. And don't miss Dear Katie. This week, Katie Boyle tells us how to get rid of unsightly stains. Next week, how to get rid of unsightly Twickenham. It's all in the TV Times.
Do you know, I never knew there was so little in it.
Some people accuse television of being a mausoleum for tired old films. Others complain that far too much time is devoted to sport. Now the IBA computer has come up with the answer for the first time ever, a program to appeal to both the sports fan and the movie buff. It's a beautiful day here in ancient Judea. This morning we had a little rain and a plague of locusts, but now the sun is shining and we'll be covering all the vital action as it happens. Representing Jerusalem is the highly favoured Ben-Hur, played by American Charlton Heston. Nice, muscular build, moving well every inch of Charlton in the great tradition of Jackie and Bobby. Recently, Heston has played in a number of disaster movies, but today he's back in the biblical stakes and determined to prove that not every Heston movie is a disaster.
And there, ready in position to play, well out in front and showing a lot of form as a slave girl, Esther. She's a newcomer from Italy, the hotly tipped Silvana Crumpetta. So far, she's completely untried. Well, that's her story. Coming in now, over on the far side, I can see King Herod, one of the great names in genocide. He's played with tremendous weight by England's Robert Moore.
My master has grown cold. You promised me love. Why cannot I have it?
Away with you.
Yes, why cannot I have it away with you?
Silence! Another word and I shall have your foolish tongue ripped out. Or dubbed into English by Joan Collins.
Nice return there from Morley, a real pro who always suggests he's never quite lost his amateur status. In this season alone, the versatile Morley has given us Pontius Pilate and a sitcom pilot.
What business must I conduct today?
You have an audience at noon.
Oh dear, not another tiresome matinee.
No, the commander of the Roman garrison, the brave and beautiful Ben-Hur.
Ben-Hur is without.
He's without. Look at who's talking.
Speak your peace, Jew.
Herod, I have come from the Colosseum where blood flows to gratify the ferocious lust of the rabble. I beg you to put an end to this barbaric sport. The poor Christians are but fodder for the hungry lions.
Was there no one brave enough to face the beasts?
I, one man old in years, showed such naked courage. While others fled the arena, he walked through apart and unafraid.
Sounds like Wilfred Hyde White. He was never afraid to walk through a park. Did he tame the lions?
In 5 minutes, he had the meeting out of his hand. Then they started on his leg. Whoa, Herod!
Morley now faces the daunting task of sharing a scene with the veteran pro Finlay Curry, moving up slowly on the inside towards the throne.
Oh, and hearken to my prophecy. Your kingdom will be destroyed by the treachery of the painted harlot at your feet.
You are mistaken, wise man. My little Esther is loyal to her king.
Nay, I have seen her lying in the arms of a prophet outside the temple of the twin gods.
Castor and Pollux.
Well, that's the way you feel.
Stay, oh wise man. Is this true, girl? Have you been making a profit? Speak now, or you'll be back doing martini commercials.
Guards, seize the girl and take her out of my sight. Before you touch a hair of her head, think on this, Herod. I fear not your words. Your egotism is as impenetrable as my breastplate.
I think that was a fluff from Heston. He hit the dialogue a bit fast, and I believe he said impenetrable. Let's have an action replay.
I fear not your words. Your egotism is as impenetrable as my breastplate.
Yes, no mistaking at that time. A fault from Heston. And Herod sending him off. Sensation at the palace. Ben-Hur has been sent off. Yes, it's an early Roman bath for Ben-Hur and dismissal also for Silvana.
For the love of Allah, what's all this rumpus going on, Lenny?
Oh, there's lovely.
A beautiful try there from Sheikh Ahmed Hugh Griffiths, showing a nice disregard for the rules and going way over the top. Griffiths, whose Welsh accent makes him a natural choice to play Bedouin tribesman, appears to be sizing up the penalty area.
Herod, I've got a proposition for you, boy. I'll offer you 20,000 lira for this little filly here.
No, I beg you, I am not a piece of merchandise. Money cannot buy the like of me from Herod.
For 20,000 lira, I can get one like you from Harrods. Oh, come on, girl, I'll shower you with wealth like you never dreamed of. Don't forget I'm a successful barber. 4 chairs and no waiting.
The question now is, will the slave girl drop one?
Unharm the girl, you degenerate camel trader. Your decadence will bring the Roman Empire to ruin.
It's looking as if the game's petering out to a tame draw unless Morley can pull something out of the bag.
I can feel it in my bones, a terrible end. Where is Durantibus, my soothsayer?
Yes, he's bringing on a substitute.
Did somebody call?
I was saying,
I heard you. And there ain't no such thing as a terrible end, only a terrible finale. But fear not, help is at hand. I've got an eye for a hoofer, an ear for a tune, and a nose for a... What, 2 out of 3 ain't bad? 'Cause it's part of the Hollywood tradition. It's part of the good old ballyhoo. The script may be lousy, but take it from me. They'll shout Holy Moses when you part the Red Sea. Vestal virgins look good in Vista Vision. They're virgin on the brink of their fate. It's part of the Hollywood tradition that you're gonna make a big name. It's part of the Hollywood tradition. It's part of the good old ballyhoo. From Oma Cayenne fruit to Oma Sharif, you can't beat those sand dunes for instant relief. Salome was loaded with ambition. She wiped on John the Baptist and said she followed that Hollywood tradition to show how a girl gets ahead. It's part of the Hollywood tradition. It's part of the good old ballyhoo. Sometimes when you watch those historical scenes, you might spot a knight wearing Lee Cooper jeans. So spare us your sneers and your derision. If you hear a Brooklyn accent from the Tsar, it's part of the Hollywood tradition. And that's how you wind the first star. I don't want to boast, but in addition, ha-ha! The schnoz and me are bound to go far. We're part of the Hollywood tradition. And that's how you wind up. That's how you wind up. That's how you wind up a star. Fantastic happenings in evolution, I reckon the biggest is Homo sapiens. Now, Homo sapiens is not, as you might think, Latin for silly poofter. Far from it. Homo sapiens is man, or in my case, botanic man. Evolution itself is the process of development progressing from simple life forms crawling around in a primeval slum right down to today's highly sophisticated humans like yours truly. Now, there's one very strange exception to this rule where evolution has done the dirty on us, and instead of going forward, we've gone back. This happens in the case of lecturers who present travel and science programmes on the telly. I'm talking about the kind of expert like myself who can scoop up a handful of fossilised bird droppings and can tell you to within a few thousand years exactly what time of day it was when the bird went to the lab. Yes, years ago, when the great land mass was just cooling off, one of my ancestors was a bloke called David Attenborough. Now, he travelled thousands of miles with a camera crew and came home with lots of specimens and some ropey old black and white film of tribal dancing featuring semi-nude natives, which was of great interest to anthropologists and all connoisseurs of the Wandy. Now, the extraordinary thing about Attenborough, which makes all your theories of evolution a load of rubbish, is the fact that he was so well educated and spoke proper. Why, you ask yourself, has evolution turned upside down and produced someone like me with such peculiar speech patterns? Well, I'll tell you. Attenborough belonged to a species of mammal who had cracked the problem of living in a dry, stuffy atmosphere, the television centre. Soon he'd adapted himself so completely to his new environment, he stopped travelling altogether, grew an extra thick skin and became controller of BBC Two. Now, one of the mysteries that has baffled the scientific mind is why Attenborough, who according to all the laws of evolution should be a comparatively primitive creature, could pronounce words like frog, whereas myself, with all the advantages of a big budget from Thames Television, cannot. Now, frog is not a word I have much occasion to use. If I should run into one, I wouldn't say hello, frog. Most likely, I would address him as Monsieur Cousteau. Unless, of course, I had the necessity still, in which case I wouldn't bother. Now, I am the first to admit that I have a lot of trouble with my R's. When I say my R's, I'm not referring to the fleshy protuberance what I sit upon. I'm talking about the actual letter R. Take a sentence like, frogs have skins through which they breathe. Notice how the letter R is transformed as if by magic into the letter W. Now, why should this be so? As you can see, nature has spared no expense in providing me with luxuriant growth of beard, and this, I reckon, is the root cause of the problem. This beard is made up of thousands of fine tubular hairs, a great mass of them, all tangled together to provide protection and cool shade for the chin. These hairs rise up to the sunlight and attract particles of food, small insects and strange looks from passers-by. But the beard is the disadvantage as acting as a sort of filter and rendering a lot of what I say completely unintelligible. Last year, for instance, I was filming in a mangrove swamp and some stupid reptile came across clearer than what I did. In fact, his diction was so good he got his own series. And thus things would have remained but for a fantastic breakthrough. Kapow! A speech therapist introduced me to that great actor, Sir Laurence Olivier, whose way with words is known across the globe. Now, he recognised the potential straight away, but because of his film commitments, he couldn't help me. But it was a step in the right direction, because he put me in touch with another of his famous colleagues. And thanks to the patience and perseverance of Mr. Arthur Mullard, I can now pronounce words like frog and evolution as queer as a bleeding bell.
Live from Television City, Hollywood, it's the George Burns Show. And here is your host now, that superannuated superstar, George Burns.
You're very kind. You know, I like to get a lot of applause at the beginning of a show. At my age, I might not last to the end. You know, anyone emceeing a big program for CBS hopes that he's come on to introduce a great show. Now, I'll let you into something. Tonight, what we've got for you is a really terrible show. For laughs, Bob Hope lets you see the outtakes of his movies, where the actors muff a line or a door won't open. Well, that's nothing to what can happen when big musical productions go wrong. It can even happen to Liberace. You know, Liberace is a pool that's shaped like a piano, a beady that's shaped like a piano, and a John that's piano-shaped. Somebody said, what about a piano stool? And he fired him. They tell me some of his greatest fans are middle-aged to elderly women. I guess they look at him and think if I hadn't kept my own hair, cut down on the calories and junk jewelry, I could look like that. But his own grandmother wasn't flamboyant at all. She was a religious old lady who loved her grandson. When she was 86, she called him to her bedside and said, Lee, when I go, I don't want you to forget me. I'm leaving $8,000. Get me a really nice stone. It's on the third finger of his right hand. Here's Liberace at the Sands Casino on his opening night. It was also his closing night. You know something? The guy hasn't even noticed. Maybe somebody should tell him. Maybe not. It's getting interesting.
Oh, my, it's warm in here tonight. I guess the air conditioning must have failed.
One thing's for sure, no way will he do an encore.
And now I'm gonna do an encore.
Which is why I never bet in horses.
It's a number written for me by Johann Strauss, one of the all-time greats, Tales from the Vienna Woods. And as a special added attraction, you're gonna see my waltzing waters. Have any of you out there ever seen my waltzing waters?
No, but we've all caught you blazing piano. Hold on, kid. Help is at hand.
Thank you. You've been a very warm audience. Good night.
One of our younger producers on a big nostalgia trip had the cute idea of doing a tribute to Radio City Music Hall. He had the Roquettes flown out to the coast. Now, when you do a dance routine with the Roquettes, you need precision, you need pace, you need perfect timing. What you don't need is the producer's girlfriend right there in the middle. night, folks.